Want to never run out of ammo? And while you're doing that, do you want to be regenerating your health? And on top of that, want to have a sidekick Iron Bear running by your side? Well, today I'm going to share with you guys my best solo build for Moze. This is LaserBolt. Today we're going to be taking a look at Moze and going through what is the best build for her. Now, she is a very interesting character. I think out of all the characters, she's the one that has a lot of possibilities for different builds. And finding and determining what is the best solo build for her is a little bit hard because unlike the other characters, she doesn't have too many things to draw by. Like she doesn't have pets, she doesn't have digiclones, she only has Iron Bear. But learning how to use Iron Bear correctly could be a little bit tricky. So today I went ahead, put the best build you could possibly get for her that's going to allow you to never run out of ammo. It's going to allow you to regen health while you're doing that, and it's going to make your Iron Bear pretty OP as well. But I think this is pretty much a very decent build that's going to give you a lot of damage and a lot of survivability, but with a couple caveats. But before we get started, I do want to remind you guys about our giveaway. We're giving away 2 free copies of Borderlands 3 for the system of your choice. To enter, it's super easy. All you got to do is click the link down below where it says Join Bold Nation, and you guys will be automatically entered, so good luck to everyone that plans on participating. As a friendly reminder, if you're playing with a different character like Sane, Flak, or Amara, I have builds for them too, so definitely do check out those videos, and we're going to have a ton of Borderlands 3 coverage for you guys. Not only this builds, but multiple builds for each individual character, so make sure you guys subscribe and drop a like on this video. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive into this build, and for Moze, we have a couple of builds, guys. We have the Shield of Retribution, we have the Bottomless Mag, and we have Demolition Woman. Like I said, Moze is a very interesting character, and we're going to be pulling in from all different skill trees to make this build very effective. So we're going to start off with the first one, and our main skill tree is going to be Bottomless Mag. This is going to allow us to never run out of ammo, and it's something that happens very frequently in Borderlands. If you haven't played Borderlands, running out of ammo is a real deal in Borderlands, and that's why the Bottomless Mag is going to allow us to not run out of ammo and help us have that longevity when we're playing solo. So let's get started with the skill tree. First and foremost, we're not going to be doing anything right now with our action skill. We're just going to get started with the actual build itself. And let's start off with the first column. So on the first column, we have Cloud of Lead, we have Daka Bear, and we have matched sets. Now on this first column, we're going to be investing all of our points on Cloud of Lead, and this is going to be our focal point throughout the entire build. Let's see what Cloud of Lead does. It says occasionally Moze and Iron Bear shots will deal additional incendiary damage and won't consume ammo. Every 4 shots does not consume the ammo. Bonus incendiary damage is plus 11. So just by picking this alone, we know that we need to focus on 2 things. Number 1, we need to focus on incendiary damage. So anywhere where we could pick up incendiary damage from within this build is going to be a plus, because remember, this is going to be able to stack up. So the more incendiary damage we're able to get, the better it's going to be for this particular build. In addition to this, we need to find out other areas that is going to allow us not to consume a lot of ammo. So that's going to be the structure of our particular build. And we still need to find a way where we're going to be able to get our health back. So let's keep diving into this build. All right, so for the second column, we have a couple ones. We have Stoke of Embers, we have Redistribution, and we have Scrappy. So for this one in particular, we're going to go to Stoke the Embers. What this does, it increases Moze's Iron Bear incendiary damage. See what we're saying here, guys? We're already getting an additional 30% incendiary damage once we max this one out. We already had the incendiary damage increase with the first one we did. Now we're getting an additional 30. In addition to that, we're also going to be checking out Redistribution, which does the following. After Moze scores a critical hit, which is technically a headshot, she regenerates ammo for a few seconds. So landing those headshots and landing those crit shots is going to be very important, because not only are we getting our ammo back from the first ability that we picked, but we're also being able to regenerate our ammo from getting crit headshots. So get your head in the game, baby, and land those headshots. And then we have Scrappy. Basically what this is going to do, it's going to allow Moze to improve her handling, weapon swapping, and mode switch speed are increased. So we're not going to max this out or put a lot of points into this one. The only reason we're actually putting points into this is just because we got to unlock the rest of the stuff. But we're going to be putting 2 points to this one, which is going to give us all the way up to weapon swap speed to plus 27, Mode switch speed is going to put us to plus 27 as well, and handling a plus 19. So now let's jump into column number 3. We have the following. We have rushing offense, and we have scorching RPMs. So rushing defense, it says most can sprint and shoot at the same time. Now this is what makes this build quite interesting, because if you master the sprinting and shooting at the same time, you're going to be pretty OP and you're going to be dodging bullets, because remember, AIs have a little bit of a problem tracking you. So this is going to be very effective if you learn how to sprint and shoot. There's definitely one that you want to pick up. Just make sure you master it when you get used to it. Then we have scorching RPMs. Most gains increased fire rate and critical hit damage. This is pretty good because we want to make sure we have that fast fire rate and we're landing those crit hit damage, which is going to improve our damage as well, because remember, we got that crit hit chance that is going to allow us to regenerate more ammo. So make sure we keep that in mind. So fire rate gets increased to plus 15 and critical hit damage gets a plus 20 bonus. Next up, we're going to move along to the Iron Bank. What this is going to do is it increases Moze's magazine size, and we're going to put 3 points into this one. So once we get it to 3 points, it's going to improve her magazine size to plus 21%. I think that's a relatively good number. Remember, the key to this build is to never run out of bullets, to do a lot of damage, and to have a good amount of health. Plus, in addition to that, to get the damage from the incendiary. Then we're going to purchase one that's going to make this build even much better, which is Specialist Bear. Equipping 2 of the same weapons on Iron Bear increases the damage they deal. So it's going to increase it by a plus 25%. So that means when you get on Iron Bear, you're going to be getting a 25% damage more buff if you have 2 of the same weapons. And we'll talk about what weapons we're going to be using as we move on through this build. Then as we continue going down, we have Some for the Road and we have Click Click. So Some for the Road, it's going to allow Moze to gain infinite ammo for a few seconds after exiting Iron Bear. So you're going to be using Iron Bear as a tactic, and we're going to explain how we're going to be using it further along. But for this one in particular, anytime you exit Iron Bear, you're going to get infinite ammo. So this is going to make sure that you're not running out of bullets. Anytime you need bullets, get on Iron Bear, exit Iron Bear, and you got ammo right off the bat. The next one is Click Click, and what this is going to do, it's going to give Moze increased gun damage as your magazine is getting emptied. Now the only problem with this, and this is what makes her build a little bit interesting, is that she requires a specific weapon archetype in order for it to be even more effective, because the less ammo she has, the more gun damage she's going to have. So you have a shotgun, a hand cannon, that doesn't have too many bullets, so you're going to be getting that weapon damage a lot. But if Moze has a Cove gun equipped, she gains more gun damage as her gun's heat increases. So this is going to be a very effective combo. So one thing that makes this build interesting is the fact that you want to be looking for Cove weapons, because that's going to give you even more weapon damage when using this build. Right now, it's going to give you a plus 36% on gun damage. That is not taking into consideration the Cove weapon being equipped. And last but not least, guys, we're going to go with Forge. Moze constantly regenerates ammo for her current equipped weapon. So see right here, guys, with the few synergy that we have just within the skill tree, we are getting our ammo very frequently, because we're not only being able to regenerate our ammo from going into Iron Bear, we're also able to regenerate ammo from shooting our magazine. Plus, we're also tapping into Forge, which is going to allow us to get more ammo back on our primary weapon. Now let's talk about the action skills and, of course, their augment. Now for our action skills, this is what we have available. We have the minigun. The minigun is capable of sustaining rapid fire. Firing for a long period causes the minigun to overheat, rendering it inoperable for a few seconds. Now, that's one of the options we have. The other option we have is the Salamander. The Salamander is a flamethrower that deals incendiary damage. So you guys remember, we are stacking up on that incendiary damage, and the only way we're able to get incendiary damage is if we equip the Salamander. So let's go ahead and equip the Salamander here, and we're going to have to equip this in slot 1 and in slot 2, because remember, in order for us to get even more damage, we have to have 2 of the same weapons. Now, one thing that we have to keep in mind is that the Salamander has infinite ammo, but it drains fuel. So we're going to have to go to another skill tree to help us out get a little bit more fuel, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that further within the video. Now, as far as augments are concerned, we have 3 to pick from. We have one called Fuel Economy. Reduces Salamander's fuel drain. Additional Iron Bear movement speed is increased after damaging an enemy with a Salamander. This is actually pretty good, because remember, we could save some fuel with that Salamander being used. The next one we have is Chemical Warfare. Salamander now deals corrosive damage. Additionally, Salamander's melting damage is increased. And last but not least, we have Molten Roar. The Salamander Burst fires 3 projectiles with increased fuel drain, the first of which leave a large incendiary area. So the two viable here, it's either Molten Roar or we have Fuel Economy. Now, I'm going to equip Fuel Economy. The reason why we're equipping Fuel Economy on the left hand is because we want to make sure we're not running too much out of fuel. In addition to that, guys, remember, since we're running the Salamander, it is a flamethrower, and we're going to have to get close and personal to a couple ants because we're not going to be able to fire this from far away. So having that fast movement speed is going to help us quite a lot. Now, for the right hand, we're going to go ahead and equip the Molten Roar. This is going to be effective because it's going to allow us to shoot those 3 projectiles. And even though we're losing a little bit more of fuel drain, it's going to allow us to kind of compensate that with that fuel economy. All right, so now let's take a look at what other skill tree we're going to be using to further our build. And we're going to go over to the Demolition Woman. Now, Demolition Woman has some very interesting attributes, and there's one in particular that we really want to get. So we're going to go into that as right now. So let's start off with the first one, which is called Fire in the Skag Den. Now, there's a total of 3 in this column. We have Deadlines, and we also have Gristled. Now, out of all of these ones, the one we want to go and make sure we get is Fire in the Skag's Den. The reason why, guys, it's once again that incendiary damage is calling our names, because what this does, it says whenever Moze deals splash damage, she deals bonus incendiary damage, guys. A plus 15 incendiary damage. Now, stacking up with all the incendiary damage we're already getting from the other tree, this is definitely the one we have to max out. So let's go ahead and get all the 5 of these and max this one out. Now, as we move over to the second column, we have Means of Destruction. We also have Torque Girls Promotion, and we have Stainless Steel Bear. Now, this one in particular, the one that kind of draws my attention a lot, is the one that calls Means of Destruction. Whenever Moze deals splash damage, there is a chance to add ammo to her current equipped weapon magazine, with a smaller chance to return a grenade. Remember, guys, this is going to give us infinite ammo, so anything that gives us more ammo, oh, come on, what are we thinking, boys? What are we thinking? And we're also getting that splash damage, and when we get that splash damage, we get that incendiary damage. You guys are seeing the connections, the synergy. It's insane. We're going to get all 3 points and max this out. Now, the other thing we're going to be wasting points is Stainless Steel Bear. Iron Bear gains an additional armor and increases maximum fuel. Remember, the reason why this is important is because, remember, when we're using our Salamander, we're going to be losing fuel, and getting that more fuel is always important. So we want to make sure we get that. Plus, it's going to give us more armor from when we're using Iron Bear. So this is going to be making it very effective. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 points into this one, bringing our Iron Bear armor to plus 12% and our maximum fuel to plus 8%. I wish I could spend a little bit more points in here, but we just got to roll with what we got. Now on to the third column, guys. For the third column, we have Pull the Holy Pin. I would really want to make sure I pick this one up. I mean, I was debating, should I spend a point here? Should I not spend a point here? But you know, the only thing that messes it up is that Auto Bear is in the same column, boys. And we're going to have to go with Auto Bear, because the reason why Auto Bear is so important is because what this is going to do is when you exit Iron Bear, he's going to remain deployed for a couple seconds. Not only that, but remember, we also have the attribute that gives us our ammo back once we exit Iron Bear, and having him deployed for a couple seconds is going to help us deal with a couple damage in case we're getting shot, and that's going to be pretty awesome because all the enemies are going to be focused on Iron Bear and won't be focused on you. Now, if that wasn't enough, when his timer runs out, he's going to charge the enemies and self-destruct. Oh my goodness, boys, we definitely have to pick this one. I mean, this is a must. Auto Bear is definitely a plus in my book. All right, so now we still got a couple points, and we're going to actually go to the other skill tree, Shield of Retribution. And there are some really good skills here that we want to pick up. The first one, of course, being... Actually, hold on. Let me tell you the ones we have available. We have Selfless Revenge. We have Security Bear. And then we have Armored Infantry. So the main thing we want to make sure we get is our Security Bear. What this is going to do, it's going to give Iron a bubble shield that reduces damage taken. This is going to be very good, guys, because the longer we can keep Iron Bear alive, the better it's going to be for us. This is going to add 20% to his health as part of a shield. Now, the cool thing about this is that the bubble actually recharges, but it's delayed 5 seconds, which is still pretty good because Iron Bear will be safe and protected. Of course, we want to protect Iron Bear. Come on, boys. Now, Selfless Vengeance, I'm going to be using that for my vampire build for her, so I'm not going to be including it for this particular build. We're going to go with Armored Infantry. Basically, Armored Infantry, what it's going to do, it's going to allow Moze to earn damage reduction and increase weapon damage when her shields are active. So she's going to be able to reduce the amount of damage she takes, plus it's going to allow her to output a lot of damage. Remember, once we get out of Iron Bear, we're going to have infinite ammo, and our shields are going to be fully restored. And so that means at that time when we get out, in case we need to run into enemies, we're going to take less damage, plus we'll be able to output more damage. Now, we're going to spend a total of 4 points here. So our damage reduction is going to go plus 11, and our gun damage is going to go plus 12. Now, I would add an additional point here, but we actually need this additional point for another one that we definitely got to pick. And we're going to go to the second column. For the second column, we have Drowning in the Brass, we have the Red Line, and then we have Vladoff Ingenuity. Now, this is kind of interesting because we were trying to decide between Drowning in the Brass and Vladoff, but let me tell you guys what each one does. So, Drowning in the Brass is going to be a skill tree that's going to actually benefit allies and yourself. So, this is a solo build, so we decided to skip this one. Then we have Thin Red Line. What this one does, it puts a portion of Moze's health in the reserve column, and it cannot be restored, but her maximum shield is increased. Once again, this is going to be focusing mostly on my vampire build, so not including this one as well. So we're going to be going with Vladoff. Now, what this one will do, it's going to give Moze maximum shield increase, and she can gain resistance to shock damage. Basically, her shock damage resistance goes to a plus 47, which is a lot, guys. And her maximum shield goes up to plus 30. It's going to make her more tanky because remember, with this build, we want survivability. And this is going to allow us to tap into that survivability. And it was something that we were lacking with this build, but now we're able to get a whopping 30% on shield. Now let's take a look at the third column. We have Full Can of Whoop Ass and Experimental Munitions. Now, the Can of Whoop Ass, this was pretty interesting. It causes Moze and her allies' shield to immediately begin recharging at an increased shield recharge rate. Now, this is really good, but remember, guys, this is going to be mostly for allies. This is going to be a decision on solo build or running with allies. Now, the next one we have is whenever Moze scores a critical hit, she deals bonus incendiary damage. We found it, boys. Of course, incendiary damage is going to be very important. Remember, we're going to be trying to get crit hits because that's going to give us more damage. And if we get that crit hit, it's going to deal more incendiary damage, which we're already stacking up. So the clear choice here, of course, is Experimental Munitions. And that about wraps up our build. This is technically the best solo build for Moze. I did a couple other tests, and I find that this is actually the best one. Definitely give it a try if you plan on maining Moze. Now, if you plan on maining Sane or Flak or Amara, I have builds for those characters as well, so definitely do check them out. Links are down below in the description, so you guys can go check those out as well. We are going to have a ton of build videos for each individual character, plus a lot of Borderlands content. So if you guys are interested in Borderlands like we are, definitely hit that subscribe. And also check us out over on Discord. There are a ton of people who are going to be picking up the game, and it's going to be fun playing not only with you guys, but also playing with the community. I do hope you did find this video helpful and informative. If you did, do me the huge favor, guys. Drop a like on this video. Share this video with your friends because that does help us out a lot. If you would like to see specific builds for different characters, let me know in the comment section down below. We'll be more than happy to put those together for you guys. If you want to show more additional love and support, do consider joining the Bolt Nation. To join, it's super easy. All you got to do is click the link down below where it says Join Bolt Nation, and you will unlock exclusive emotes for Borderlands and also exclusive features only found in the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget WGATAP, and I will catch you guys on the next video.